Okay, guys, I'm going to talk about the biggest cause of misunderstandings, and that is basically making assumptions. This is something that naturally most people do, including myself. And the reason for that is because whenever you assume something, it saves you mental energy because you don't have to figure out the missing gaps in whatever information your brain is processing. The problem with that is that oftentimes people make wrong assumptions, and that is what causes misunderstandings. There's a story that I'm not sure if I shared it before, but I'm gonna tell it again. So, a few years ago, I was, let's say, working together with someone who we weren't very close, we weren't friends, I would say, but we were acquaintances. And this person needed a big favor, and I went out of my way to help him with this. That was that. And then a few months after, I was the one who needed his help specifically. I was dealing with a situation that he had the means to basically solve my problem in one day. And when I reached out to him, basically he ignored me, he left me unread. Now, at the time, I thought he was straight up just, being selfish. It's like, oh, okay, so when I help him, it's fine. But when I'm the one who reached out and asked for help, he's nowhere to be found. And I started to feel resentful towards him and decided to just cut off the communication. Basically, it's like, okay, message taken. We're not friends or anything, or not even acquaintances. That's how you are. Fast forward to another month, I get a message from him. He reached out that he's seen my message, but he couldn't reply because he had gotten into a car accident and he was hospitalized. He was literally physically incapable of replying to my message. And then after reading that, I obviously felt like shit because here I was thinking that this guy was just being a dick. And after me helping him out, he didn't want to help me out. But it turns out he literally could not respond. Then he reached out, clarified the situation, and I was like, okay, that was a huge lesson for me. So in general, from that point actually, is when I decided to always take one of two stances. Either I assume a neutral reaction or I assume positive intent. For example, because sometimes, especially if you're living with other people, especially if they're not related, or it's people, let's say you're staying over at a friend's house, or people you are still starting to get to know on a deeper level, or the first time you're spending time together with someone, like just moved in with your partner, or you went on a trip, I don't know, with your friends living together, and everyone has a different upbringing, everyone has different culture, different background, different standards, different ways on how they view the world. And that is very important because everyone will always look at any situation through their lens, and their lens is shaped by their experiences, and they might not match yours. Another silly example, when I was a kid, my parents taught me to believe in Santa Claus. But some kids at my school were told from an early age that Santa Claus wasn't real. And as silly as that example seems, it influences how you behave, or at least how I behaved, and how my classmates at the time behaved around Christmas time, because I still felt certain excitement and I looked forward to Christmas time. But obviously my friends, because let's say the illusion was not there, they behaved totally different. But again, it's just because everyone does things a certain way, everyone's household runs a different way. And you always assume, like, I believe in Santa Claus, so I assumed that everyone else believes in Santa Claus. And it comes down to that point, right? Especially when you are a grown up and you're dealing in, let's say, I don't want to say serious matters, but serious matters for sure. But in general, whenever you're not sure about something and you find yourself making an assumption, the best solution to that is to simply ask questions, communicate, talk to the person who, let's say, if it involves another person, just ask, never assume, ideally. Because, oh, and there's a way to ask questions, right? Because by asking, you gather more context, which then allows you to form a proper view of what is actually happening. And that, I guarantee you, that will save you a lot of hassle in your personal relationships, at work, business, clients, etc. Ask, never assume, clear things up, gather any needed information, and then you can make a proper decision based on the situation. So wanted to share that quick tip for you. That's the video for today. Thank you for watching if you made it this far. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.